red velvet cake. Oh, and this smells so good. Okay, this is a super easy recipe and so delicious. First, for cakes, the important thing to remember is just exact measurements and exact temperatures, and after that it's super easy. Also, another thing is room temperature. So we're going to start with a cup of milk and 6 eggs. This is all room temperature, but you could slightly warm it in the microwave. Like I do 8 seconds for my butter if I didn't take time to leave it out. And that gets it just right for making your cake. A cup of shortening, vegetable shortening. And you don't want to use the whipped because it's not really the right measurement because there's air in it. So you want to use the, actually Crisco is my favorite for all baked goods and frostings. It just works really well. 2 tablespoons of red food coloring, and if it seems like a bottle is just too pricey, you can go get the really big bottles of food coloring and it's not as expensive. So 2 tablespoons or a whole little bottle. A teaspoon of salt, a couple teaspoons of cocoa, so just a little chocolate flavor with that, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So super easy. And we're going to mix this up first, and then after this is all nice and mixed up, then we're going to add our flour. So there we go. And so actually I let that go for like 3 minutes, like that, so it's nice and creamy. And then, 3 cups of sugar. Need to add that in. That would not be very good without the sugar. And okay, so now like 3 minutes till it gets nice and smooth, and do it on high. Like once you get all of the stuff incorporated, then go ahead and do that on high. And then after it's all nice and smooth, then you're going to add in your 3 cups of flour. And this, what we're doing today, is gluten-free, but you can use regular flour too if you want. There's a little bit of corn flour, oat flour, and garbanzo flour. It's about a ratio of 1 cup of corn flour, 1.5 cups of oat flour, and 1/2 cup of garbanzo flour. But you can kind of play with that mixture. But the garbanzo flour or white bean flour really holds gluten-free up. Just regular white flour will work beautifully too. So let that go 3 minutes, and then you're going to add this in and just get it till it's nice and smooth. 30 seconds to a minute. And then preparing our pans. That's what's really important too, just so that it comes out nicely. So you're going to want to take your vegetable shortening and brush it in the bottom, and then take some flour and just kind of hit it around. And you don't want to do the sides because the cake needs to climb up the sides. So if it's greased, then it will just slip down and you'll end up with a hump in your cake. And you don't want that. So, and lots of times if I'm doing other pans, I'll just do the flour from pan to pan. This is what the batter looks like afterwards, but this was from the last batch. I would take this next batch, I'll add to it and go halfway. And then before you put it in the oven, you're going to want to drop it on your counter several times in case there's any air bubbles. You want the air bubbles to rise to the top. And then you're going to bake it at 325 for 35 to 40 minutes. And you just take a pick or a knife or something in the middle and make sure it comes out clean. And then let it sit out for maybe 10-15 minutes, and you want to go loosen all the way around the outside edge, and because there's no shortening on the sides. And then I just go around and kind of move the cake and make sure that I can see the middle of the cake move. I want to make sure that I can see the whole cake moving before I flip it out, because otherwise there'll be some cake stuck to your pan. And you can repair it with frosting if you want, but it's always such a happy day when it all comes out all nice. So I'm going to put this on, I'm going to be giving this to my friend So I'm going to dump this out on this cake like this. Voila! Beautiful. Okay, and then the other thing is we don't want this to be too sweet, so we're going to add just melted German chocolate. Just like this. 30 seconds in a microwave bowl. Stir it, keep doing 30 seconds until it's nice and smooth. And this is what it will look like. All beautiful. You can just take that, and this is going to be our topping for our cake. And then it's just kind of easy. We're going to do frosting with it too, but just for the borders. And this is just a pretty nice way to top your cake. Then you're going to take your spatula, wipe this off the towel since I used it. And I love the offset spatula for all cake work because it keeps your fingers off the cake. So you're always going to want to move, keep if you use frosting or chocolate, you always want to keep a little bit in front of you. And we've got a little hole there in the cake. That's okay, that's going to help determine what we're going to do to the cake. So any imperfections, I'll put either flour there or extra frosting, so we don't worry about that. You can use a Lazy Susan if you want, or you can just turn your cake plate and hold your spatula flat, and you can see why the offset is so nice. Perfect. Then this frosting recipe is cream cheese, and I got this recipe from my oldest daughter's mother-in-law, and she's a fabulous cook. And so this recipe is half a cup of softened butter, 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and 4 cups of powdered sugar. So I'm gonna do kind of a fun swirl on this cake. We're gonna do some swirls, and then we're gonna connect them with little shells. I'm gonna do a little rosette right there, a little shell right here to connect that, and we'll just do little shells right here. And this is such a soft frosting. It's cream cheese. Anything cream cheese is so good. So it might like kind of drip down a little bit, but that's okay. And I'm just going to do shells around the outside really quick. And I could have chose a bigger plate. I can see that now, but that's okay. We'll just make this work. Maybe we could put another plate underneath it. I think the cream cheese will kind of drip off in some places. And with this, basically the tip's going to do the work for you. This is my favorite tip of all time. It's a 2F. It's a larger tip, and I just love it. So very quickly, and it's looking a little symmetrical. I was kind of looking for a little less symmetrical look, so I'm going to add in a few other little swirls to kind of give it a different kind of a look. So let's see, maybe like that, and maybe right there, put that in. So, oh, well, it kind of looks like a cool heart, so that's kind of pretty too. But anyways, enjoy your red velvet cake. It is going to taste delicious. Have fun. Thank you.